Alright guys, welcome to episode 5. Today we are going to be installing our first graphical operating system. We're going to be installing Kali Linux. So the first thing we need to do when we are installing a new operating system or a new virtual machine, we will need to get the ISO image, right? So start by going to Kali website here. Come up to installer images. You might think we're going to virtual machines, but that is not correct. Virtual machines, if you're running VirtualBox on like Windows or something, you can get a virtual machine that way, but we're not doing that. We need a DVD image. And then again, like we did with OpenSense, we're going to right click on the download button here. This is the recommended version. This is our architecture. Right click, copy link, and that will allow us to download our operating system image. And we're going to wget our link, and this might take a little while, so I'll just fast forward until the end and we'll see you at the other side. Alright, now that we have our image, we are going to start our first operating system virtual machine. OpenSense has been up and running. Oh, another thing about OpenSense, if you come to summary of OpenSense, it will always be 100% memory usage, and I can't remember why, but it will be. So it doesn't really matter what you do there. You're not going to fix that. I'm going to go and create a new virtual machine. We're just going to name it Kali. Turn off the advanced. We don't need the advanced. I'm going to go to next. Select our Kali Linux operating system image. Go to system. We're going to select Q35 and we're going to start, or we're going to select QEMU agent. That just allows Proxmox to see inside of it a little better. Like it'll be able to see its IP address, and it will also be able to have more control over the shutdown and restart on the outside of the operating system. It's something I did on OpenSense as well, off screen, but I'll show you what I did there to enable that. Alright, we're going to set 40 gigs to this because this is going to basically be our main workstation on this machine. We're going to be using it as like an actual computer and to do tasks, and everything else will be kind of passive. And this is all good. This is all good. We're going to set, so for the install and for the updates, I'm actually going to double everything. You can easily change this later, but I'm going to set this to 8 cores, and I'm going to set this to 16 gigs of RAM. Right? Because when it does go through the install and the updates, there's a substantial amount of updates, and it uses a lot of memory. So I'm just going to do that for that. I'm going to set this to VMBR1. Turn off the firewall because our firewall is being taken care of through OpenSense. And everything's good there. We'll finish that. We'll come to our options, and we're going to select our IDE. That's our CD-ROM. I'm going to, actually no, I'm going to have my hard drive first and this second, so that when it reboots after the install, it will see the operating system and boot to that. And I believe we're ready to, why didn't that take? Because I'm in OpenSense. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. We'll go to Kali Linux. Come here. Turn that off. Have the hard drive first. DVD-ROM second. And I believe we are ready to start the install for this. I'll show you here in the summary. It can now see the MAC address and the IP address of OpenSense. Proxmox can detect that now. Before it was blank. And we'll have the same thing in Kali once it's up and running, because the guest agent is automatically installed. It's by default with Kali, but you have to physically install the plugin with OpenSense. Okay, console, and we're going to start. Installer takes quite a bit of time, so a lot of this will just be staring at a bar. Graphical interface or graphical install. English. I'm in Canada. American English. We're going to want to see configuring network with DHCP, and network auto configuration has exceeded, so that's good news. It means we pretty much guaranteed to have received an IP address from OpenSense. So all of this is just going to be Thor. That was just, username, user account, domain we leave blank, and everything else I just set as Thor, including the passwords. And we're in Atlantic, and it'll detect our disks. We'll be able to select our hard drive to install to. We're going to use the entire disk. It's the only one there. All files in one partition. That's what we're going to use. We have no need for partition. And then this is going to just say finish and write changes, and then it's just warning you that this is permanent, and it'll erase the disks, right? And now it's going to install the base system and all the software. Alright, when we get to software selection, we're just going to take all the defaults and move on with that and let it go. Alright, and we're going to hit yes on install the grub bootloader. There's only one disk to choose, and once this finishes, it will reboot for us. Alright, we'll just hit continue here. And once it shuts down, I'm going to actually stop it so we can add our video card here. Requesting, alright, let's just stop it. Right click and click stop. We don't want to boot into it just yet. We want to come to hardware, come down to add, and PCI device. I'm going to select a raw device. We'll look for 2:00, which is our 4060. We're going to hit all functions. We're going to click advanced, and we're going to go to PCI Express as well. We're not going to turn this on because we don't need the video output. And we'll click add. Once that's added, we are good to start it back up again. Alright, and here we are in our first operating system. I'm going to log in. Give it a few seconds to boot up. And we'll just verify a couple things before we do the updates. Wait till these icons show up before you do anything, because alright, LSPCI grep-I NVIDIA, we know what that does. That just shows us whether or not the GPU is visible, and there it is. So it is correctly passed through and being recognized. We'll have to do some driver updates and stuff like that, but first thing we're going to do, and this is going to take a very long time, because as you will be able to see, we'll do update first, and I'll show you. 1,545 packages can be upgraded. So we're going to update. I'm probably going to turn the recording off and then just restart it after, because it just takes a really long time. So we're going to do full-upgrade-y, and I will be back after the upgrade finishes. Okay, that took a long bloody time, but we're all good, all up to date. If we go sudo apt update, we should have all packages up to date. So there's a couple things we want to do. We already checked to make sure that the video card LSPCI'd. We already checked to make sure that that was. We know that the internet's working because we just did a full update, but we just check, see we were assigned automatically in the range that we specified, which is great. It means OpenSense's DHCP server is working and assigning IP addresses. Next thing we want to do is we have to set up all the drivers and everything for, check our kernel as well, 6.18.12. So what we're going to do is we're going to sudo apt install all the NVIDIA junk that we need, NVIDIA-driver, because I believe, yeah, NVIDIA-driver, lib CUDA 1, NVIDIA-CUDA-MPS, and NVIDIA-PTXJIT compiler. PTXJIT compiler 1. We'll run through that. I misspelled NVIDIA. NVIDIA. And we'll let that run through. Alright, it's just telling us that there's conflicting drivers because by default it loads with the Nouveau driver, and we are replacing that. That's okay, just hit OK. Alright, if we go lspci-k, check kernel, -a3-i see here it's running off the Nouveau driver. We're going to go sudo reboot now. We'll check when we get back up to make sure that it's running off the proper driver. All of this is basically in order to get the GPU working with Hashcat. Alright. Now if we type DKMS status, it shows that the NVIDIA driver is added but not installed. So we're going to run install-y linux-headers uname-r. Alright, now you can run DKMS status again and it should say installed, but if it doesn't say installed still, you can do sudo DKMS install NVIDIA-current, and you need this version number, but if you press tab, it'll just pull up the most recent version and it'll say it's already installed. But if it just said added here and not installed, then that's the command you would use to install it. Okay, so we'll hit NVIDIA-SMI. It's not going to show us anything because we haven't loaded the module yet, but I just want to show. Let's see here. It is loaded. Let me see. It doesn't. I don't know. Let's see here. Mod probe. Video. See if there's any difference. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Oh, maybe that is the same. Maybe the module already loaded. Anyway, we just want to make sure that it's all running and recognized. And then we can come here and install NVIDIA-OpenCL-ICD. That's the OpenCL client that the Hashcat needs to detect the GPU as a computing device. And once that's done, we'll basically be done with NVIDIA stuff. We can do hashcat-I, and it should show us that it recognizes the GPU as a device for computing. Okay, hashcat-I, and there we go. All of our NVIDIA stuff is set up and ready to go, so next time when we get to the point where we're going to want to do some hash cracking or whatever, we'll be able to use the GPU to assist in that. So that's nice. Another thing I wanted to show you is from now on, if we're going to do anything in OpenSense, it will be done through Kali. Open Firefox here. And if we go to 10.10.10.1, which is our gateway, which is our OpenSense gateway, that's going to tell us warning as usual. We'll go to advanced and we'll accept the risk and continue. This is root and this is Thor. Save it. And here is our OpenSense GUI without having to tunnel and do a bunch of weird stuff. So I was going to show you before. If you go to System, Firmware, Plugins, click Show Community Plugins. It'll show it now because it's installed, but this is where if you have Show Community Plugins checked and you search for OS-KMU Guest Agent, it will be in that list and you can install it. And then Proxmox will be able to see the MAC address and the IP address and have more control over the shutdown and start features of the virtual machine. So that's pretty much it for Kali Linux. Install. Next episode we are going to set up remote desktop with Kali Linux, and you'll see why, because like look, you see the lag of the mouse there, and things are a bit laggy, right? Like you can just tell there's just some lag, and when you log in through remote desktop, it's so much nicer and cleaner and snappy. So this is the end of episode 5. Episode 6, like I said, is going to be setting up remote desktop with Kali Linux. All right, thanks for watching.